Right now, we are living in a really amazing era where healing is actually trending in the West. We have more healing centers, retreat centers, yoga studios, meditation groups, healers of all different sorts kind of popping up and sharing their healing knowledge with the world. This is so incredible because the whole entire world as a collective is going to become more spiritually grounded, which is very empowering. That means that all of us are going to be able to embody our higher selves and interact with each other as the best version of ourselves and as the best feeling version of ourselves. But getting to that place is a little bit of a journey. The most common question that I get every single day on my social medias is, how do I start healing? There is so much knowledge, so much information out there on Pinterest, on Google, and on all of these different platforms. How do I know what information is actually for me? If you are feeling called to embark on your own healing journey and try out different things, go ahead and try those things. Trust your intuition, trust that inner fire that is burning within you to be creative, to be courageous, to burn a bundle of sage, to go to a sound bath, to do a hypnotherapy exercise or a past life regression. Whatever you feel called to do is exactly what you are ready to do. Your soul can handle it. That's why you are receiving that intuitive guidance to go sign up for that yoga class or try that new course. As we follow our intuition and try all of these new things, we might get a little bit confused because we get confused about what exactly we are doing this for. What is the goal of trying a new yoga class? What is the purpose of waving a bundle of sage? What's supposed to happen? How do I know if this practice is working for me? So I wanted to just share with you that the ultimate goal of a healing journey is not to be a master of different incenses or essential oils or know how to do every different type of breathing technique in a breathwork sequence. The goal of a healing journey is actually to really deeply master yourself, to be able to see the results that you want to see in the world because you have put in your aligned effort and shown up in an aligned way every single moment of that process. So how can you do that? What is the real purpose? What is the goal of healing? Well, the goal is to really master your internal dialogue. And that's the reason that so many of us struggle when it comes to spirituality and struggle when it comes to meditation and all of these spiritual practices, is because our internal dialogue is our greatest warrior that we are fighting against, as opposed to a warrior that is fighting for us and is on our team. Many of us have lived with our internal dialogue for our whole entire life, and so we don't even have awareness of how uncomfortable and awful it can be. It isn't until we're actually sitting in meditation or sitting in silence that we feel so much discomfort, that we're thinking about all the things that we have to do later on or all the ways that people have hurt us in the past, and then we're able to really be aware of how our internal dialogue is actually harming us and sabotaging us rather than supporting us in achieving our goals. Through a practice of meditation, you practice being with your inner self, and you practice actually navigating and mediating the conflict between you and your inner dialogue. When your inner dialogue is working for you rather than against you, life starts to feel incredible. It really starts to feel so incredibly pleasurable and literally orgasmic, for lack of better words, because every single thing that you do throughout the day, every chore that you do around your house becomes something that you can truly love yourself even more deeply for, love your life even more fully, and it all just adds into your pleasurable life. When you have a battle or a conflict internally with your inner dialogue, what tends to happen is every laundry load that you have to do, every time you have to go do the dishes, any little thing that is coming up in your life or any task that you have to do feels like it could weigh thousands and thousands of pounds, and it takes so much more energy out of you. So many of us walk around feeling so drained and so exhausted and wondering how some people are able to better navigate their energy? How can some people get up early and go to yoga and do all the things that they want to do, whereas other people struggle to just get up in the morning and do just one of the things that they want to do? Oftentimes we don't understand why some people are so energized and other people are not energized. So we look for things in their life. We look for ways to compare ourselves to that person so that we can validate that we are actually doing the best that we can. The truth is, you are doing the best that you can. That person that has more energy than you is doing the best that they can. And the reason that they have more energy or more time is not because they don't have kids or don't have some struggle that you might be facing. It's because they have actually navigated the conflict between themselves and their internal dialogue. So their internal dialogue, when they wake up early or when they sleep in, is rooting for them, is happy with them. It feels proud of them. So they're no longer seeking validation or seeking approval from external sources and hoping that somebody will be proud of them, somebody will congratulate them or compliment them or whatever it could be, because their internal dialogue is a overflowing well of self-love, of compliments, of really rooting for yourself. As you are in this journey of working on your internal dialogue and navigating your inner conflict, you might develop a new inner dialogue that sounds completely different from something that it sounded like before. Throughout my life personally, I always had a habit of beating myself up and being so hard on myself. So the internal dialogue that I developed in my healing journey was one that was incredibly soft, incredibly loving, and incredibly kind. Throughout my healing journey process, I noticed that what my soul needed was actually not a really soft internal dialogue, but an internal dialogue that was very honest. I like to be blunt. I like to be honest with myself and in my integrity. And sometimes that means sharing with myself a hard truth, or even giving myself a little bit of tough love and telling myself, Marissa, it's time to get over this. You've allowed yourself to be upset about it for a few hours. Let's pick up our things, let's put on our big girl pants, and let's go forward into the next goal. And sometimes we need that type of tough love. If you have noticed that your internal dialogue, or that you function better when your internal dialogue is more in a blunt and tough place, that's completely okay. The thing to watch out for is if you're feeling constantly drained because of the ways that you speak to yourself. If you're feeling constantly drained after you've done the best that you possibly can, because you've been in such a habit of constantly looking at what is left for you to do rather than celebrating already what you have done. There's so many tangible ways that you can change your internal dialogue by doing different spiritual practices, a lot of which we've talked about so far in this video: sound baths, going to a yoga class. Doing something different is actually going to make your internal dialogue different because you're putting yourself in a different environment, which forces the internal dialogue to switch up a little bit. This can allow you to have more presence over the things that you're actually saying to yourself so that you can start to have more control and choice over how you speak to yourself. Own internal dialogue is oftentimes a reflection of your upbringing and the things that people said to you growing up. I know a lot of people repeat in their inner dialogue things that teachers had said to them, things that bullies had said to them, things that their parents had said to them about who they are as a person, about their personality, about their habits, and things like that. When you embody your best self and when you become as empowered as you possibly can, you go through a process of releasing all of these old patterns that you have been harboring internally from other people, and you start to embody your own values. You start to embody the way that you want to talk to yourself, the way that you want to think and feel about yourself and your life. And to be completely honest, here from a professional expert healer, it really doesn't matter what you say to yourself internally. If you want to tell yourself every single morning that you are a sparkly unicorn that farts rainbows and that's how you go on into your day and feel your best, that is okay. If you want to wake up every day and tell yourself that you are secretly a goddess mummy that was uncovered and now you're just here on the earth, you can be as creative as possible with your internal dialogue. It doesn't need to make sense to anyone else. It doesn't even need to fully make sense in this world or in this dimension. As long as the things that you say to yourself allow you to show up as the best version of you and allow you to feel the best way that you've possibly felt, then you are making strides in your healing journey, and your healing journey is going to close the gap between where you are and where you want to be. So just keep going, keep on taking one step, one foot in front of the other, because this is a process. And even if you've started this process of elevating your internal dialogue, you might notice those old patterns sneaking in of ways that you speak unkindly to yourself, ways that you're hard on yourself. And that's where we get to forgive ourselves and just start over. You can restart your healing journey at any moment. You can restart your healing journey on any day of the week, on any hour. You always, always, always have the ability to say, hey, you know what? The way that I'm talking to myself right now is not working for me. This is not how I would talk to a friend, and I'm going to forgive myself and do something different right here and right now. That is what true empowerment and alignment is. That is what it truly is to show up for yourself and to be your own savior. You got this, and I am so honored to be a part of your expansive evolution. I'm sending you so much love, so many blessings your way. This is hard stuff, and you don't have to do it alone. Thank you so much for joining me for the topic for today's video. If you are on a healing journey or in an evolution process of any kind at all, I strongly recommend that you join us for our first live training inside of Soul School. This is my exclusive community where I can really pour into you, pour all of the spiritual knowledge that I've learned from all over the world into you and your journey. So you not only get everything that you need in order to rise and feel like your best self, but you also don't have to do it alone. You're doing it with me. You're doing it with our entire healing community of rising souls, where you can share your reflections and grow within a community. This is perfect for anyone who is on the rise, anyone who's going through a lifestyle change right now, whether it be a breakup or whatever it could be. You deserve to feel fully and deeply supported. You deserve to know how to navigate these big life changes that we're thrown into with literally no training. So I'm honored to support you in your journey, whether it be here or inside Soul School. We are going to take it to the next level, and it is so exciting. I will see you all there. Bye.